Hey folks, it's Simon here with your Tao Daily update for Friday the 9th of August 2024. Finally, the bulls have something to cheer about following Thursday's price action. We had a pretty decent rally across all of the major indices. You can see here the S&P futures finished up 2.3%. Perhaps more importantly than that, we have now got a counter-trend buy set up. All right, using my counter-trend tool here. We've now got a valid counter-trend buy set up. Now, other things worth observing, the S&P futures have held above their anchored VWAP level from the start of the year. We talked about that in yesterday's video. If we look at the NASDAQ, that has closed just above the anchored VWAP level as well. It's held the 200-day moving average. So all of this is looking, reasonably bullish. And certainly, my feed this morning, the news headlines, everyone is celebrating the biggest one-day rally since November 2022. Couple of things to just bear in mind before we get carried away to the upside. One is that the biggest one-day rallies in stock markets generally occur in bear markets rather than bull markets. Now, okay, a 3% rally isn't super extraordinary, but it's the biggest one we've had in a while, and people are certainly taking note of it. So, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're in the all clear just because we've had a big one-day rally. Secondly, still potentially multiple points of failure. We're at the ATMA here. All of these moving averages and this anchored VWAP level will all be potential points of failure. Let's put some Fibonacci tools on here as well. All right, the 50 and the 61.8 will obviously come in as areas of resistance. And honestly, this is where I expected the rally to kind of finish anyway. If call it, 19,300 on the NASDAQ. If we look at the Qs, because these numbers are just a little bit easier to understand, and probably most of you are trading at the Qs rather than NASDAQ futures. If we say a range of 463 to 473, that would be the sort of area I was always expecting this rally to stall. So we could certainly get some more movement to the upside here before we run into some real pressure. The other thing to bear in mind is that the NASDAQ has now had 8 consecutive trading days with a move of more than 1% in either direction. Now, that type of day-to-day volatility is also not something that you typically associate with a smooth sailing bull market. So while I definitely think the further upside into this ambush zone is a strong possibility, it doesn't mean we're necessarily out of the woods and about to rally to new all-time highs. There's a fair bit more work to be done or progress to be made before we become confident of that. Can we look at the semis as a leading indicator of what may be about to happen? No. I mean, the SMH chart looks identical to the NASDAQ chart, just that the moves are bigger. That's what I got for you today. I'm now going to record a video for our Accelerate members where we go into a little more detail and talk about some trades we can take to take advantage of what we see. I'll catch you next week. Have a great weekend.